Her
I don't know if
grandpa
you
was
could
a
say
Goomba.
technically Italian.
Well, I mean, so her grandfather on her mom's side came over on the boat from the old country.
Okay.
So he's, genuine Italian. Italian. That's how they say it down here.
Italian.
Italian. But then the rest of her family is all English background. And she's blonde with blue eyes. She don't look nothing like an Italian. We don't have any of the Italian traditions. My house does not smell like garlic. Right? Growing up, I delivered
I mean, it
newspapers.
can't. You and garlic don't get along.
We
Your
do
people.
not. Or daylight, or crosses, or mirrors. Running water, silver. There's very many things. Growing up, I delivered newspapers. And I swear to God, I must have had every Nona in Kankakee, Illinois on my route. Because I would, on collection day, I knock on the door. Hey, collecting for the paper. Oh, come on in. And I smell
Sunday
magic.
gravy. Yeah.
Sunday gravy on Friday or Wednesday or whatever day it was.
Well, I mean, you got to start cooking it early. If you do it right, you never stop. It's just one pot. You just keep adding to it.
I'm amazed I didn't pass out from smelling all the food I smelled on collection day. It must have been, I don't know. I didn't know Kankakee had an Italian neighborhood, but apparently they were all in my area.
See, I was born in Baltimore, so we say those people are from Italy.
Italy, that's right.
Not Italy. Italy.
Italy.
It's 2 syllables, not 3.
Right. I just finished rewatching The Wire, man. I'm one with my Baltimore.
Look at that. Y cars. John, are you here?
I haven't seen him in the chat, but I have been looking in the chat because I was expounding on Italy and Sunday gravy and all that.
He'll get it on replay. So today, getting started with the show, I've had a bit of fun. The reason why we're doing this is we've got some AIOCs on the temporarylyoffline.com store. AIOC is all in one cable. This thing here, and it works with just about every radio that's got a K connector. And there is an issue that I found with the UV5R Mini. Let me put this on the stage there. If you guys have ever been around a K connector type radio and tried to program it, you might have run into this where you got to make sure the cable's seated all the way in. And if you look real close, you can tell that cable is not seated all the way in. These collars from the 2.5 millimeter, 3.5 millimeter plugs interfere with the plastic housing. I don't know whether it's recessed down where the cable goes, and then where the connector lands, and I can't put my mouse on the screen because the way I'm sharing this, is held up about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or something. Schulte, thank you. Member for 8 months. Awesome.
That is great.
And so what I'm going to do is, I mean, you guys saw it in the thumbnail. I got the Dremel here, and I'm going to mute my mic when I do the dremeling, but I'm gonna spare that. But first, before we get in there, I needed to have a control. I needed to make sure that the cable worked with the programming software with a radio. Before you go cutting into something, before you start making expensive messes, you want to make sure that it's not something cheap. Oh, Frank is correct. Use it or lose it. 2025 is a wrap. We're putting a cap on 2025. Thank you, Frank.
So the next time we meet will be next year.
Yes. So,
well, that'll be at church on Sunday morning, but yeah.
This morning, I was messing with this guy here. This is my old faithful, my UV5R. This is the one that got Carlos, broke the pile up, Parachute Mobile at Dayton. If you're going to break a pile up, it's, this is the radio to do it with. And I think I might have had a better antenna than the Duck, but it does not work anymore.
I think you were using a signal stick, dude.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because you were whipping everybody in the face with it. I mean, not intentionally.
You can hear it turn on, but it ain't doing nothing. And this is the battery that I dug out of the back of the bin. The battery that was on it is one of these extended runtime batteries. And I think what happened is I got it stuck in transmit. So that's 2 batteries that are dead, and both batteries have been in the charger stand, which has the red light on. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. Yeah, see that red light? It's got the red light on it, so there's power going to the charger, but I'm not getting power on the terminals with my multimeter, and there's no power in either of these 2 batteries. So
you've checked the batteries?
I did, and the meter's not reading any power on either of the two
anything at all.
batteries or on the charging cradle. So I don't know what's going on with that.
All right. Well, Chris has been a member. KD9YSW has been a member for 1 month.
Chris Radio and Life, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Our favorite Canuckistanian has been a member for 34 months.
We're only saying that because Ben and Vince never make an appearance
The
on the show.
smart
and
Canadians are not here at the moment, so
that's what gives us the love in our heart for Jody.
the C team. I mean, he's minimum flair of Canadians, right? He's the minimum Canadian. I say that with love, Jody.
I think the word you're looking for is token, if we can get away with that.
Oh, he's our token. He's our DEI Canadian. Okay, we'll go with that. Dave, Tall Dave, has been a member for 32 months. Frequency Frontiers, KY4GM. Twice as many as Frank. That's right, Dave. And personally, I think you're cooler than Frank. I'm just saying. Fredward, Ham Radio Crusader, has been a member for 29 months. And we know Freddie has a unnatural fetish for AIOC boards and Toad's DI boards as well.
So Freddie is making this case here for
Let
the
me,
Toad's
hold on,
DI
let me
board.
plus you up, son.
And it is super sexy. Look at that magnetic front closure. And then the DI board slips in and out, and you don't need the, what's it called? You don't need the standoffs. That's the word I was looking for. It's been a long day, which is going to make the show even more fun. Let me get a link for that, because I didn't give that to Frank, I don't think.
Kelly, the guy Kelly, because there's a lady Kelly too, and I want to be clear, the lady Kelly does not have that magnificent of a salt and pepper beard like the guy Kelly does. And he has been a member for 12 months. Kelly, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Kelly.
Let's see. We still got more.
Been good to have you.
Our favorite chat troll, the Don, has been a member for 61 months. Don, that is awesome. Try allergies to chicken and sage, whether 8 believes it or not. Is that code? That must be in response to another comment I haven't seen.
Yeah. Okay.
And this one just begs to be, in my country, they put you in jail for having a Baofeng. Who is DK? Is that Germany?
Uncle Gunter. Yes, Germany.
Germany?
Yeah. UG. Blue Boy. My
Blue Boy,
Blue.
member for 7 months. Good evening, sir. N0URB John has been a member for 23. There's a possibility metal. Something may get lit on fire.
There will be sparks. I'm grinding metal.
I mean, technically, Steve lives in a trailer, and he's cooking. So,
yeah.
In the fire department, that has special meaning. Just saying. I think that cleans. Oh, no, one more. Celino Dev. We're leaving the battery connected while we drill, right? Maximize those donations. That's exactly right. Steve will drill hot for a big enough super chat.
I will leave the battery connected while I drill, but I'm not going to have the AIOC on the radio because I can't get in there to do the mod. I mean, I have to.
Go ahead.
I have to remove the connector, the card from the radio to make it work. And then I got to find out a way when I run out of inventory of these connectors, if there are connectors that don't have that collar on them. Here's to another year of nuggets.
Other Andy, thank you, sir. That's Iowa Andy of the Iowa Mafia.
We need to do two things real quick. We need a moment of silence for Marvin Dreesen, our friend in South Dakota. He bricked a radio today, and he bricked it hard and on purpose. So if you got some, pour a little out for him. He had a CRT Micron, which is a clone of the Anytone 778UV, which is a sister cousin clone. Maybe that's more true than I know.
A sister wife?
The Retevis RT. No, I meant sister cousin, like inbreeding. The RT95 from Retevis. And what he did was he had the CRT Micron, and he somehow wound up getting... I've never seen a firmware update for this radio. He somehow wound up getting the Anytone firmware on the base and the Retevis firmware on the head of the radio. And the radio didn't have either of those two badges on it. So he might be out $100. So that's the news for that today. There are links in the description for where you can get the AIOC and where you can get the Baofeng Mini. And I was looking at a replacement battery, and I figured I'm going to get a replacement battery, and why not get one that's USB-C chargeable? And it's actually cheaper to just buy another Baofeng that's got a battery that's USB chargeable than it is to get a battery on its own.
So,
That's a German thing?
can we address this? Well,
We sure can.
this is kind of like what we were talking about yesterday morning in church. I don't think it's Baofeng specifically. I don't know what the German laws are. I have no idea. It's a UHF VHF radio. So assuming that it's legal for those bands in Germany, I can't imagine that all Baofengs are banned. What I think the agreement probably says, the SEPT, is the same as the FCC regulations, Part 97, is not to be spewing spontaneous trash everywhere. And I'll be honest, DK, I've got more clean Baofengs than I've got dirty ones, honestly. Tested on a $2,000 spectrum analyzer that say they're fine. And we had a guy on this show a couple, 3 weeks ago
Dr.
Doug, who has a PhD in witchcraft, radio engineering, RF engineer, that kind of background, and has tens of thousands of dollars worth of very expensive crap. And we tested this particular radio, and it's perfectly clean, according to the U.S. standards. Now, if the
Yes.
German ones may be more strict, I don't know. But I would
we're
say
not
it's not
arguing,
all
we're just
Baofengs.
Giving extra information.
Yeah.
So Marvin is saying that this was not him, but I've got this in the general chat in Toad's Discord. So, and the reason why I'm saying it's a CRT Micron is because it says CRT Micron on it, and then LCD version 778UV is the Anytone, and RF version is the RT95, and there are at least two RT95 out there.
Yeah. So I don't want to sign you up for anything particularly, but Marvin could send the radio to you, and we could.
We could nuggets it out, but I need to get the firmware download too. I didn't see any place to download the firmware.
Okay. Darren,
thank you.
VK4 Geo has donated 5 memberships, and those went to Ron Walensky, Tracy Kennedy, Zanavi, aka William Henderson, because I feel comfortable saying your name, and I cannot really pronounce that other word.
All pronunciations are our fault.
Yeah, and Mike Armstrong. So, Darren, thank you, and you guys thank Darren.
So I saw this on another stream somewhere. This guy said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a box right here, in this general area. I'm going to put a box. And if we mispronounce something, we're all adults here. Just reach into that box, grab the proper pronunciation out of it, put it in your head, and we'll move on forward.
Right. I mean, Steve, you're in IT. How do you pronounce Kludge? And you know what it is, right?
I say kludge.
Really? Most
Why
of
is
my
it
life,
kludge?
I've pronounced it like fudge.
Kludge? Well, I mean, it's spelled like fudge, but this is English. So maybe I'm confusing. Maybe it's not Marvin, but the sentiment still remains. There's somebody named Kane who has the same Baby Yoda avatar that Marvin uses, which is why I associated that with Marvin.
Now, I will say, apparently the Canadians are firing shots over the border because...
Peanut butter.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yep. That is not a picture format. That's a peanut butter. So Marvin, I mean, I got everybody to give you some condolences and pour some out for you, but apparently it's not you. Either way, it's still interesting to play with.
Mike, okay, thanks.
Yeah, we're just going to let that one slide right on by.
Right. DK, thanks for showing up, man. I'm not arguing with you. It's curious what their rules are because I don't really know. And
Oh, yeah.
all Baofangs should be treated equally.
Okay, there's an X button at the bottom next to the share screen button in StreamYard Studio. It's a square with an X in it. Do you have that?
A square with an X next to share screen. No.
Okay, so I'm going to push it, and if I disappear...
We'll wait.
Okay, that's what I thought that was going to do. It stopped the screen share. There's a dedicated stop screen share button now that wasn't there before.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I don't see it, because I'm not sharing a screen.
You weren't the one sharing. Okay, so Jim, if you would like to argue about something, I'm going to take the Dremel light and start grinding away. It's the light model, and this is fantastic for light duty ham workbench desk stuff, but not necessarily like the construction level cut through plywood type stuff. It actually doesn't have enough oomph for it.
Yeah, I've got a battery powered one, and I have a very old Craftsman one that goes up to rip your arm off with torque, and I will grind titanium for you. Yes, but the low power one's great for. And if you guys don't have one, they're not expensive. They're like $25 maybe, and there's 4,000 brands of battery powered portable rotary tools, because I think Dremel is a trademark, and they're fabulous to have. And I actually have, well, I have the real electric cord one out in the shop, but I have the battery powered one in here for cleaning up 3D prints or making things fit that aren't fitting the way they're supposed to.
She's grinding away nicely, and I'm
Very
getting
good.
getting an earful over here. Using the grinding stone. And there's a link in the chat for this, in the description for this one, but there might be one in the chat by now too. I'm going back on mute. It's back to you.
Okay. I'm having a conversation. I'm having a work conversation in text also. It's just awkward tonight. Let's see. Let's go through and look at some chats real quick. Cooley got him a used Dremel for $10. Yeah, I mean, Chuck is the one who mentioned it to me one time because he had one, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Because like I said, I have one, but it requires power to be plugged in, and you know, it's nice to have two of them because I got one in here that I can use for light stuff. So pretty cool. Jody is getting into 3D printing. Is a press worth the price to keep them aligned? Jody, you can actually 3D print a heat insert press. And I saw a video today, and if you ping me in Discord, I will find the link to that video. But it was almost all 3D printed, and all you need to do is add in your pine sill or portable USB soldering iron and put your heat inserts on. Bob's your uncle. So no, I would not pay for one. I 3D print the parts because the hot part's not even held by plastic. The way this thing worked, it held the pine sill or equivalent in a collar back on the part where you keep your fingers. So, and yeah, Tiberium, I've done it that way. I've never 3D printed the other thing. I just saw it today. Never looked for one, but you can just hold it.
Okay,
I don't
she's
think
looking better, but not. I don't know if it's 100%.
Joe Brett said he wants one. 3D print
3D
one,
printer.
Joe. It's not like you don't have a printer.
I was gonna say I thought he had one.
He does. He has a couple 3.
He was showing us his ham towers that he was making the other day. So in all the excitement of getting my tool out and making it work, I forgot to do the control test of the other thing that I burnt out with the radio. So I have a Quanshang UVK5 here that's got the K connector on it. And we're going to try and program that first. But we might just go straight for the Gusto here because I'm already 75% of the way there.
Do it. Mucho gusto, son. Dremel on. Let's see. Yeah, Jody, if you shoot me a message in Discord or just look on, I think it was on Maker World, and there's probably one on every site. There's probably multiple of them, but it's basically a stand and a ratchet mechanism to move up and down. It might have had a couple of parts you had to add to it, maybe like M3 screws and nuts or something like that. I don't remember. Oh, let's see what else is going on in the chat. We've hit the 3D printing thing. Colin said it was 101 Fahrenheit there yesterday. Today 72. Colin, yesterday here it was 76. Today the high was about 3 o'clock in the morning at 55, and on my way home from work it was 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and I think overnight it's going to be in the 20s because it's technically winter here, but this is Alabama. And today the temperature dropped.
60 here today.
The temperature dropped like it saw a state trooper today. I'm just saying. Boom shakalaka.
Okay, so I've got it. I think I've got it as done as it's going to get because it doesn't look like it's getting any better than this. I'm copying the file up, and then I'm going to share it out so you guys can see my handiwork.
And yes, we've had a hell of wind chill today too, because it's been about 8 to 12 gusty knots, not miles, knots.
All right, so you can see where I put my Sharpie mark on there, and you can see that it's down below the collar, but there's something else that's stopping it from going any farther than that.
You got both of them?
Yeah, I hit them both up.
Well, that's not straight. I think that thing has a little bit of a ramp to it, so maybe do it a nudge more on both of them.
Sure.
I mean, when it doesn't fit, you go harder.
More force, yes.
More
you
force.
You can always add more force. You can't take away too much force if you put it on too early.
Right, exactly right.
Okay, back to mute.
Let's see. Mike, you are up in the northern tier area with a KE9 call. 16 here now. It was 14 with a wind chill of minus 15. Are you in Minnesota or Wisconsin? Because that's even colder than Chicago usually. Dakota, North Dakota. I don't know where all the 9 call reaches, but that's definitely the north. Freddie said if it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
I'm old enough to get that reference.
Northern Illinois. I'm from Kankakee. Apparently you're in northern Illinois. We've had some winters like that, though, in Kankakee.
Yeah, I shaved off more. It ain't no better. Okay. So now it's time for the control. And I did notice something. I've got this FTDI cable from...
So is it possible that they're not straight? That they're
it could be
a little off?
It could be possible. You can see the two little LEDs there, which is pretty cool. This has got the FTDI chip. If you get one with the prolific chip, they are problematic. They work. Sometimes Windows complains heavily about the drivers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this in, and I think it didn't work on the Mac. So I'm going to try it on the Mac anyway because we're here. Take the cable, plug that in.
A native from Kankakee also, Stephanos, is from Kankakee. So that means there's 2 people in this stream who know where Kankakee, Illinois is at.
Right? I mean, I still don't know.
I also know where Mantino is. Oswego, yes, I do.
Oswego.
Randall's from Lowell, Indiana. I know where that's at, Randall. No, I scroll back in the chat to see if any of you have ever said anything really clever that I missed, because I want to give all of you credit. If you say something, prophetic or awesome or thrilling or spine-tingling,
that window.
I'd like to share. That's all.
That is very odd. The chirp window is locked.
That's right. And Dave, I know. Yeah, Dave, I know you're from Kankakee as well.
Oh, I think I know why. There it is. The title bar for the chirp window was off the screen and I couldn't use it. Share screen.
Garth has said something clever, and he's been a member for 5 months. So here's to you, Garth, my friend.
Awesome. I'll raise my virtual glass to you. So I've got that FTDI cable plugged in to the UVK5 as a controller. We're going to see if this works. And I had already proven that it worked with the radio that I blew up today. So I've got the software going.
Bricker wants to know, do we have an ultimate goal for this AIOC specifically?
For tonight, it's just to get it working with Chirp.
Make it happen.
And if it works with Chirp, it should work with anything. So it's not a Baofeng. It is a Quanshang. Does Chirp even support Quanshang? There it is. Quanshang UVK1. Experimental driver. It tells you this on every driver they make. It's experimental. Yes, I accept the risk. And we're going to say, wait a minute, did I pick the right? I picked the right port. We're going to say read from radio. Error communicating with radio. Firmware version is not supported by this driver. Well, that doesn't help me any. Okay, I had a backup plan for this. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to run chirp again. And I spelled chirp wrong.
Sean, typically that's to just do a firmware update as far as I remember on any of the UVs I've ever messed with. He's mentioning, do you have to hold the PTT and turn it on to program, or is that just for firmware updates? As far as I remember, that's just firmware updates.
I don't know. Okay, we're just going to go for broke. We're making good time on the show here, but there's a kind of a hard limit because Jason's doing his Gigaparts Let's Make a Deal stream after this, and I know you guys don't want to miss out on that.
Post-Christmas dealing.
Everybody done spent all their money, and then they got Christmas gift cards back. There is a website where you can sell gift cards. Okay, so we've got the regular FTDI cable plugged in. So if this doesn't work, then I've got to switch from Mac OS over to Linux. And error communicating with radio.
Yeah,
so that's both of them not working.
I think that's the same kind of issue I was having with that Pi Moroni dingus today at work. Are you on an Intel or Mac silicon? Apple silicon?
Apple silicon.
Okay.
My camera is right in front of my screen.
John confirmed that the radio just needs to be powered on to chirp to program.
Does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
well,
so
not a special key sequence.
Over my shoulder. Let's run chirp over there. Welcome to chirp. And see, now it's not in dark mode anymore. Radio. Oh, I got to plug the cable in.
My eyes.
Before we do that, I know. Forgive me, Father, for I have light moded.
I mean, it's almost as bad as the sun. Dave said you need Windows for that.
Windows for what?
For everything.
No. Sorry. Wrong
I think
channel.
Dave might be trolling you. I'm pretty sure. Steve, what is your affiliate link for the Vero N7600?
It is code Steve for $10 off. But I don't know. Let me see. Grab a code for that real quick. If you go to my channel and you search, you can actually search specifically on somebody's channel if you go right to their channel page on the YouTubes. And you'll be able to find just my videos on the N76 instead of everybody's videos on the N76.
Yeah. I posted it in the chat.
My link?
I posted code Steve for $10 off.
Yeah.
You want me to find your Frank Bot?
I found
Frank Bot. Okay. Well, I mean, you said the code, so I just posted the code.
Yeah. All right. So there we go. And I've got the Baofeng, and I've got the UV5R Mini, and it's on the Linux machine instead of the Mac OS machine. Let's hit OK. And you know what? I need to turn the radio on. Good thing it reminded me on those steps. Okay, let's do read. And this is on the FTDI cable, not the modified cable yet. And she's working. Okay, so we know that this part works. Once this is done, we will try the new freshly ground, dark roast AIOC cable. Actually, I prefer Colombian. Okay, that worked, and we have data in the radio. So I'm going to... But you notice that there's 21 channels there, 21 frequencies, and we'll get rid of them. No, I don't want to save it. All right, blank out of chirp. Remove the USB harness with the FTDI cable. Grab the freshly ground one and plug it in. Hey, it still lights up. That's good. I didn't grind away any circuitry.
Doc is asking, what were you saying the other day about programming the AIOC? That was yesterday at church, right?
Yeah, I was putting the firmware on it.
Yeah, you were doing the firmware loads. That's on the AIOC board, which is like he was showing yesterday on my show. You've got to put a little jumper across the first and fourth pin, and that makes it boot up into firmware mode, DFU mode, whatever you want to call it, so you can flash the firmware like he's got there that you can barely see.
Yeah.
And you can also use a paper clip as well.
Yeah. Anything that fits in the holes or
yep.
And the point is that you only have to do that the very first time. After the first time, Simon's got the firmware updated so that you can load the firmware on it while it's in regular mode, not in DFU mode.
Cool.
But if you ever brick it, it's a good trick to know.
Mm-hmm. Jody, exactly right. Tweezers would be a great choice.
So we've got the new one here going. The lights are on the back and the screen is on the front. So we're going to do screen first. Oh, look at that. It's doing it. It's doing the thing. So that was all it was a clearance issue.
The BTEC UV Pro. This is the N7600 in hand
21
form.
channels.
Yep. So just that was it. Was getting a little booger in there.
Yep. Well, that was less
painful
than I thought it would be.
30 minutes left, Steve.
Do we have any questions in the questionnaire spreadsheet?
Bricker's asking what 3D printed case you're using.
Not using any 3D printed case because I don't own a 3D printer.
He's running commando, Chris.
Naked.
Bareback.
They do make them, and they are available, but I don't have a 3D printer, so.
I mean, it's not like he doesn't have friends that have 3D printers.
I'm getting more and more tempted to get one every day. Yes, Jimmy, we saw a nugget success in
this is
less
the droid
than 30
you're looking
minutes.
for.
Kind of shocked. Will the AIOC work on the Anytone 878? If it has a K connector, it will probably work for data without issue.
That's is that the mobile radio? No, that's the handheld.
The 878's the handheld. But since it's a DMR radio, it probably won't work for programming.
No, because that's the BTEC clone, or BTEC is the clone of that.
It's a DMR thing.
No, you know what? I have to look. I have to get my box of HTs out. I think you're correct because the radio is the COM port.
Yeah. On
that, not the cable. So isn't that the case? The AIOC has to go into a K connector that is just a K connector and not a COM port.
Correct,
right?
Because it provides the COM port.
It provides the COM port. Yeah.
We have no new questions in the question spreadsheet. That means it's free for all for questions.
Drop them like they hot. Yeah, I checked a little while ago. There was nothing in there. So
while we're waiting for questions to come in, what can you do with the AIOC? And you can do a lot of the same things that you can do with the Toad's digital interface. It's got the K connectors that you solder on or raw pads that you solder to. And Simon has added the CM108 PTT logic to this a long time ago, and there's supposed to be a carrier operated squelch on this also, and it's one of the split back. I do want to. It's just space and time. I've got videos already uploaded waiting for release that are going to last me for the next 9 weeks. I'm 9 weeks ahead on videos.
Yeah. I still have more stuff to video. I'm just in time production here. Mostly.
On the RV channel, I'm a little more just in time. I'm only 2 weeks ahead on that channel. And that was purely accidental. I had some free time and good weather yesterday, so I did a power station twofer. I did one on the RV channel, getting it to power all the things, and then I did another one on the ham channel to see whether it was clean or dirty. When's QMX? The QMX build series is part of the 9 weeks. It's already up and running. Who knows?
I have a question. Since we have several people talking about APRS, and I may have misunderstood this. I might have just got Don paid money. We'll ask his question since he got mine.
Everything and answer the questions. That's the way we roll here. If you have a question, we will clear a path for you if you super chat it. Otherwise, we'll kind of get to it.
Okay.
DJI drones getting banned in the U.S. I bet that's because they don't do ADS-B.
Yeah.
Joe
banned. Brett is probably the best one to answer that because he has a Part 107. I never got mine, and I've been out of the drone game for 4 or 5 years now because there was no point in it for me. It's possibly a large part of that because I know the FAA was looking toward putting, they wanted ADS-B or some kind of electronic identification on drones so they would paint on radar. In a regular private airplane, for example, the ones I fly, they're not that big. They do paint on radar, but they also have a transponder. And newer ones also have ADS-B, which is fancier transponder, dingus. Newer. And there's codes you put in there that make your aircraft bloom or paint much stronger on ATC radar. You can fly without a transponder. It's perfectly legal. You know, they'd love you to fly with one, but if you're under air traffic and direct air traffic control, you have to have one, and it's so that your aircraft specifically can be identified. And that was where the FAA was going with a lot of their regulations. That may be part of it, is that DJI didn't want to do it. Again, I don't know. Joe Brett's probably got a better answer than I do because he's way more into it.
Like this one.
Okay. Well, see, that's even simpler answer. The simplest answer is usually the correct one. It's the stupid government that did it. So, Bob's your uncle.
Where did it go? It just disappeared. All right, so that was a question anyway. Let's see.
Dave's question?
Yeah. How does an RF signal create a larger signal on
The RF
radar?
signal doesn't create the larger signal. When the radar receiving unit gets, there's 3 codes that you don't squawk unless it's like the real thing, 75, 76, and 7700. One of them is no radio. That's 7600. 7500 is emergency, and 7700 is hijack. And whenever you change your transponder to any of those, the reception equipment at the air traffic control, instead of you being a small airplane-shaped blip on the radar, it goes and sets off a hooty alarm in ATC that there's something going on. But it's an enhancement to the radar signal. So that's all. It's not just RF reflecting like a radar signal. It's got a data stream with it that allows them to specifically know that that is Cherokee 16425 is that particular blip, as opposed to a bunch of unnamed blips.
Andy, yes, you imagined it.
I did.
I mean, he did it too, but you also imagined it.
I have it. I have the code. It's on my GitHub. So,
what does one need to look for a good lightning arrestor? It's my understanding you want the one with the gas discharge tube in it.
That's supposedly the thing. Mm-hmm.
They do make them that don't have that, and I don't know how much I trust it, and I have no way of testing either one of them. So I would look for that. And then I've heard that the gas discharge tube pellet replaceable thingy is not good for running a tuner through. Like the tuner can blow it up, shoving stuff through the other way. Radiodity DB25D does have a K connector, and I do have it on the schedule to test with the AIOC and do some APRS and some WinLink stuff, but I haven't gotten that far yet. That's what I was messing with today, and that's what blew up the old UV5R. And Josh Cars, yes, that's what I'm dealing with today. So I'll show you where I put it. This is my attempted solution. My USB cable for my AIOC is RF bead.
Choke it.
Heavy.
Choke it. Choke it hard.
3 turns on it and 2 total beads because I don't have the right beads in stock. So there we go.
Ron, nothing they let me fly has ADS-B in it. It still has steam-powered gauges.
Right.
And I have to pedal hard to make it take off.
I'm scrolling backwards to get in the chat. That was the one about the lockup. Yes, we have issues. The solution is, like it always is, just choke it. Just 2 weeks ahead. What's being ahead like? It's fantastic. I still don't have empty time in my truck or in my schedule. I still got to go to work every day. Looking at my first DMR radio, any feedback on the Anytone D168UV? It is a good starter radio. And Radiodity has a clone of it. And you can get, I think, $15 off with code TO15 for this guy here. Mm-hmm. And it has, I don't know how it works because I'm not the satellite guru that Hamstick Eric or Digital Rancher are, but it has a satellite tracking feature, but no GPS. So somehow it does the thing, and people have reported success with it. I don't know how that works, and I'm not saying it's full duplex or anything, but the the GD88 is another good one over at Radioddity. This one has some really cool features where it will do cross mode repeat. So I can have an analog radio like this one here, and it will transmit to this radio, which would then convert it to DMR and then transmit it to another DMR radio or hotspot, which would then do the DMR magic with it. So that's an interesting feature, and that one is full duplex for satellite.
And then where does that compare to a UV? What's the I think I'm having
the hot new DMR Baofeng?
The BTEC, the 6X2 Pro, that's the one I was thinking of. Because I have the original one. I have the original one.
Yeah, the 168 is smaller, less features, lower cost.
Okay. Probably less contacts. And that's a huge part.
No, I think it's actually more.
Is it really?
It's just newer. Yeah, I think it's just newer.
Because that's a big differentiator also in DMR radios is how many digital contacts you could store. When we got the 6X2, when I got it, because I didn't know him then, I think it would only store like 150,000 contacts, and worldwide there was about 138,000 DMR IDs. That number has been surpassed, probably largely because of COVID, because that number shot up after 2020 a lot. And now I know the last time I looked, and they upgraded the 6X2, but then the 6X2 Pro, I think it's like 300,000, 350,000 contacts. Frank, you can correct me if you can find the correct answer. I don't know. But that's a huge thing with DMR radios. So something to think about for a starter radio. I don't know that it matters because honestly, I mostly just have US contacts in it because I don't talk to that many people.
And the radio will work if you don't have the contacts in it. It'll just show their DMR ID, not their friendly name.
It won't say Steve McGrain. It'll say...
Don't be promiscuous.
His number. Right.
How's the Windows 11 experiment treating you, Steve? I ran into two issues, and I'm not sure if they aren't related or not, because I'm trying to test WinLink on the AIOC using WinLink Express software for an edge case with sound modem, which if I get it working, I'll make a video about it because that's what I do. But I downloaded Windows 11 LTSC IoT today, and it's unlicensed, and it says it'll give me 90 days. And I'm just, number one, what happens after 90 days? And number two, no bloatware, no telemetry that I can tell, because there was nothing installed on it except for Edge.
That's bloatware all by itself.
It is.
I mean, I love Windows, I love Mac, I love Linux. I love OS2 Warp. I love SCO Unix. I love System 5.
Wasn't SCO the one that was all dirty?
Dirty.
Where they were trying to sue everybody?
Yeah, yes. God, that was, oh man, that was like the early 90s.
Early 2000s?
No, 90s.
Not arguing.
It may have been the 2000s, yes. Because somebody used something, I don't remember, but yeah, they were. And their licensing was extraordinarily skeevy, and it was like on 15 or 20 diskettes to install it. Diskettes, 5 1/4.
Yeah, they claimed that they owned the license for Linux.
I think that was it. It was something with Linux, which, as far as I know, was pretty much derived from the brick, because Linux is pretty much System 5. I haven't been on a real System 5 system in 35 years, so a little fuzzy.
Jason wants to know if the SUP 720 and my 6509 have enough memory to take full route tables. Yes. But that's because I've modified mine. Should I revert the stock firmware or stuck with the OpenGD77 on my Baofeng DM1701? If the OpenGD77 firmware is doing the thing that you want it to do, then stick with it. And if it's not, then revert it. But I wouldn't do it unless there was actually a reason, like a compelling reason for you to take that plunge and undo that mess.
GD77, I have a Baofeng DM1801 DMR radio. Actually have a couple. And without GD77, it sucks. The user interface sucks. The functionality is not very good. And with GD77, it is a perfectly adequate, if not sexy, DMR radio.
So Liberty Cave, we missed this a couple of minutes ago, 5 minutes ago. What does Radiodity call that? And I think he's talking about the Radiodity version of the D168 Anytone. They call it the GD168.
There you go. Cyber Jason remembered it or Googled it.
Yeah. And then Chris is asking about the AIOB. I have seen the AIOB, and other than a different physical form factor, I couldn't find out what was different about it. So if you know, let me know.
I had one. I think we did a giveaway with it.
And it's blue.
I don't remember. I bought it. I don't know. I don't think it's different. I think he just called it board.
Yes. Yes, Lee, it worked. Hey, Frank's here. The other Frank.
Other Frank.
Harry Frank.
What's up, Frankster?
The DB25D is actually an interesting little radio. I mean, it's basically a 25 watt HT in mobile format.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like that thick.
Is that the little shorty?
Back.
The shorty?
Yeah, the front to back is that big, and it's got I want to say an RJ45 connector on the front of it and a K connector on the side, and so you got your RJ45 mic and your K plug for programming.
Oh, that's
stuff.
pretty cool.
Yeah, but I need to get in there and see. I mean, it's a K connector, so it should work for speaker mics and things like that also. And if it works for that, then it should work for
with the
AIOC
AIOC.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So once I get done blowing up radios, and I've got a couple of the Baofeng things in my cart, and I'm not 100% sure I can bring myself to buy them because I have the Mini, and the Mini is so much sexier than the old.
Yeah, it is. It's a cute little radio. It's cute.
And this one's bigger because it's got.
See, not even fair. It's like looking at a Russian grandma who makes you eat your borscht
Babushka.
versus, you know, a hot chick who lets you eat ice cream.
So
that's a terrible metaphor, but
yes, it is. So the Mini is smaller in all regards, and it's got the new upgraded screen. Same lady inside though.
Mm-hmm. It is a huge upgrade. It looks much nicer than the old ones. The form factors.
Yeah.
The interface is a lot slicker.
So I have. Did I put it away? No. I have a duplex hotspot that I need to work with, and I think I'm going to do D-Star on it because it says P25 DMR, Pi-Star, WPSD, and it's upgraded. So number one, I wonder if it's got WPSD on it out of the box, and number two,
can you
I don't know.
Show us what you have.
I don't know that I can because it's still all in the. Yeah, it's in the.
So is that the Pi and the MMDVM board, or just the MMDVM board?
It should be the Pi, the MMDVM board.
That
but
looks
it's a
like
duplex deal.
The whole banana. So you have a duplex MMDVM board on a Pi 02W or something like that.
Yeah. And yeah, she's in there. I can see the Pi 02Ws in there because WPSD recommends that you do not use a Pi 0. It does work, but it's like Pi-Star is slow to begin with, and it's painfully slow on a single core 700 megahertz, blah, blah, blah. That's a pretty sexy little USB cable they gave me, though. Micro
Have
USB
you tested it on the Tridix?
No.
Then it's not a real cable until it gets validated.
Yes.
Handman,
verify.
Hey man, I have done like 3, 5, 7 videos on Pi*/WPSD. There are 2 different versions of software for the Pi that do the same thing. WPSD is much more current, updated. There's not a loss of functionality. You gain some functionality with WPSD. I think the interface looks better and looks more modern than Pi*. For a long time, Pi* had not been getting updated because I think the guy had health problems or something. Don't know. Andy Taylor is his name. I cannot remember his call sign. He's a Brit. And so Chip, W0CHP, and I cannot think of Chip's last name, wrote a shell to go around Pi*, and he called it WPSD. And that's
W0CHP's Pi* dashboard.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then since then, he has basically redone a lot. It's its own thing now. I've converted all my hotspots to WPSD, all of them. And the Pi Zeros I had running, I upgraded to 02Ws several years ago. That's it. I knew it was an Italian name. I could not think of it.
Yeah. So Handman CT, I'll get you a link for a video I did on how to do a DMR hotspot, and then I've got another one on a YSF hotspot featuring WPSD, and it's fantastic. Yeah. And then Don had a question.
And I have many videos on it as well. So.
Fooled by USB-C, would almost rather go back to Mini. So the benefit of USB-C is it'll do 20 volts and like 4 or 5 amps depending on which power supply you have. It'll also do 12 volts, and so I can get a USB brick, power bank that you use to charge your cell phone while you're on vacation. And I can run my QRP radio off of it. That's like the main benefit. There are lots of headaches, and this is one of the more recent ones I've run into. Is something like this is a good giveaway. That your USB-C cable is still in upside down. They're still sided, even though they don't look like they're sided. Let's see if I can demo this real quick. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this cable, I plugged a USB-C cable into my computer, this side here. I've got my union in the middle. I've got an OTG adapter to get me to USB-A, which is that K connector programming cable we used earlier. And this is going to work without being plugged into a device because there's actually a chip inside of here. So if you look, there's supposed to be a blue light there. If I take this out and turn it over and put it back in, there's that blue light. So now we've made the right connection where turning it over, no blue light.
Yeah, so my All-Star hotspot does that too. But it's a special wiring job in their adapter. They have an adapter with it, and they clearly tell you when you're programming it, it has to go in one way, and when you're using it, it goes in the other, even though it's a USB-C connector.
So Frank says he dropped the links in the chat.
Yes, it's scrolled by.
There's that one.
Just look on Steve's channel, temporarily offline, the channel you're watching right now, or look on mine, FEP Labs Radio. Between us, we probably have 15 hotspot related videos. 10 at least.
Let me share this out. Because this is like, I do this all day long when people ask me like, how do you do this? Here's a video where I tell you how I do all of that. That's a lot easier than me typing it. Let's see, share that. So if you go to YouTube and you just search up top here, temporarily offline, for the channel name, you'll see the stream that we're on. And if I click on the channel name, I go to the channel's homepage here, and then there's this little search box here. So if I do DMR, there's all my DMR videos, and this is the one right here. This quickly set up your DMR hotspot video. DMR hotspot fast. That's the one. And then this easy code plug video is the one that Jim always talks about, where I've actually gotten an accordion file, and I walk through it like it is, a Rolodex on your desk or a file folder set up in your file cabinet, and kind of try and put a metaphor to the mess that is a DMR code plug.
Yeah. And I've done a video. Steve, I like Steve's because of the visual aid he did. I thought that was very good. And I've done several videos on DMR code plugs and updated them a couple of times as well.
And Frank's showing you some love. If you want to see Jim's videos, and while you're there, make sure you subscribe to his channel because Jim's trying to get over 10,000 by the end of the year too. Which
Jim is less than 200 away from 10,000 at this time.
I can't believe you aren't already subscribed. And so is Freddie Mac.
Freddie and I are probably within 10 of each other at this time. And I say that because Freddie was a cop, and that's cops love to say at this time. So do firemen, as a matter of fact. So at this time, Freddie and I are in a race to 10,000. And if Freddie wins, he'll be cooler than me. If I win,
Watson Hertz
I'll be even cooler.
would like to break 1K. We got to
Make
get him
videos,
over 1K too.
grind. You got to grind.
Yeah.
There's no
Or
magic formula. You've got to put out videos and people got to watch them. Edit, edit, edit. Be hard when you edit. Editing is probably the biggest thing to getting your videos seen, is knowing what to cut out of all the yapping you recorded. And I'm guilty. I'll record 60 minutes of video and release 15 because I edited out a whole lot of crap.
I ain't touching either of those two.
I mean, I had a longer hose. Just saying.
Well, you had a hose.
I had multiple hose. Son, I've had
Quads and
multiple
techs.
hose at one time. I'm just saying.
Quads and Tech is saying my AIOC works fine with the Mini if I do not plug it into the side of the radio. Works first transmit only. So that's probably the thing that we just fixed tonight.
It's not plugged in far enough. Mhm.
Doesn't make the clearance properly. And KD9 USB, KC9 USB has a video where he's got an extension cable and his extension cable works fine. And this is the hardest thing that you have to do. It's going to sound wrong, not politically correct when I say it, but
It's with love.
don't be afraid to throw out your babies. Don't be afraid to kill your babies. When
Yeah.
you have spent hours and hours perfecting that intro and nobody watches your video because the intro is too long, go back and trim out the intro. There was a good 5 or 6 videos that I tried to watch last night. Like there was a video about touring the Duran Duran party house that's been abandoned for 20 years and is set for demolition. 4.5 minutes of this guy just yammering on at the beginning of the video and no tour of the house. Gone. Couldn't finish it.
Yep.
Brandon
Howdy,
Ashley,
Brandon
member for
Ashley.
3 months. Howdy.
Howdy.
Flag. When tyranny becomes something. Yeah, that's why when we do the live stream, we just go live right in the middle of whatever conversation we're having. Just get you in there.
Well, I mean, I've started doing an intro on my videos, but my intro is like literally 3.5 seconds of a logo and a sound thing.
EOD
that's
Kaboom
it.
wants to know, what do I use to make an intro video? Absolutely nothing. Do not make an intro video.
Tim, until you get used to doing videos, I agree with Steve on that. Don't do an intro. And Steve used to do an intro. It was like some goofy techno music thing that played his sounds, and
that's how everybody started calling me TO, because I put TO in the intro because I couldn't do temporarily offline. And then I moved up to the next one, which was this, fluid moving thing. And
I remember
paid some good money for it,
music.
threw it away.
But I mean, there's a bunch of things, and it's a whole bunch of factors, but some of the ones that you can easily control that don't have anything to do with the YouTube algorithm directly. Have decent lighting and a camera. Look at the camera as much as you can.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I have
6 lights.
very bright white LEDs. It's making my
Jim's lighting
skin.
is better than mine.
It's making my skin crawl. Good lighting, a decent camera, and I'm not talking a $600 or $800 camera. A cell phone in the last 5 years qualifies as a decent camera. A Logitech
good
webcam like a C920 also does not suck. And the OBS bot, tiny light cameras, one of these is $149. As a matter of fact, this one that I'm streaming to you live on right now is a $149 camera with AI and all sorts of fancy crap in it.
Number one thing that I can tell you is
Good camera.
Video is a visual medium. Do not put a picture of a radio stagnant on the screen and talk about it while we stare at something that doesn't move for 15 minutes.
Yeah. And then beyond that, good audio. And there's a lot of choices for good audio. There are several YouTube channels. There's one European guy, and I cannot think of his name, young guy. He loves fine microphones, and his audio is beautiful. I'm using a Rode wireless lav setup here. I have Rode regular mics too. I'm running through a mixer, but there's a lot you can do for a lot less than that. So video, audio, and for the love of God, don't have the camera down below your face so that people are looking up your nose holes.
So my friend Frank here, this is the Frank in the chat that's so helpful.
That's Frank Bot.
Finally made a good thumbnail. This is Frank's old thumbnail, the NorCal swap meet up there.
What is
and then look at
that?
the new one down here. I have been telling this boy for a year, drop this text that nobody can read. And, big bold text. Show the thing that you're trying to demo in the video. Finally, a year later, finally he gets it. I told him in the Discord, I feel an I told you so coming on, and I told you so. And with that, we're out. Thanks, everybody. Go over to Gigapart Stream on Ham Radio 2.0 and spend some money.
Lasers.